Hello everyone and welcome to the 8th episode of the Planet Coaster Mega Park. And this is the second episode in which we are working in the mini park for the Channel 5 gaming contest. If you like what you just saw, the little cinematic footage, please consider liking, and if you want to see more, subscribing. This contest ends on the 10th of August. So until then I will be releasing videos, and of course at the end I will be releasing an entire cinematic overview. And of course if this project meets the quality of Channel 5 Gaming, which I think it does, let's hope so, then it will also be featured there. So also, subscribe to them. So now let's get to the episode. So first of all, it's a lot of work, these episodes, in a good way. I love doing it, and I love the way it's coming together, but it does mean for the video quality, to keep the video within a reasonable length, I have to cut out a lot of footage. For instance, this video I recorded about half of the time I was in game, and that was 13.5 hours of footage. And well, if I wanted to cram all that footage into the video, I would have to speed up that footage by about 50 times. So not 15, 50. Which is just, you'll get a headache if you try to render that. And you'll get a headache if you try to watch that, because it's just going too fast, you can't keep up. So I had to cut out, I think, about 75% of what I've recorded. So yeah, it's a lot, but I love doing it, and it ensures that in like 4 or 5 episodes, when this project is done, it will be a huge project, and it will be up to the standards I wanted it to be. So I think I should clarify something about the theme next. Since last episode I said I was gonna go steampunk and very much a fantasy style, and of course I'm still sticking to that. But I'm also mixing in a little bit of Victorian, with the fancy ironworks, and with the classic bricks, and some woodworks here and there. And I'm trying to mix that together as best as I can. I'm not quite sure how that's gonna play out in the long run, since there's not really an area where it's completely mixed yet. But yeah, there's a few bits and bobs of Victorian style, especially the station I will be building in a few minutes. Or maybe I'm already building it now, because it's so much footage, it takes so long to render, I can't actually watch the video back while I'm recording this. So maybe I'm building it already. I don't think so, but maybe. But yeah, talking about the station when I'm building it, it's actually the 3rd iteration of the station. I made 2 iterations before it, and well, I didn't like them, and I had to remove them, which is also a reason why there's so many hours of footage. I wanted the station to be like a main focus point of the area, because it's the entrance of the ride. And well, I just, the previous 2 iterations didn't feel grand enough, or they just, I didn't like the style or whatever. And so I was on Google Images for hours, literal hours, looking up pictures of Victorian style train stations, because steampunk style didn't really give anything, and fantasy style train stations don't really work, in my opinion. So yeah, and of course this is like the entrance of the coaster. In the live segment at the end of the video, I will tell more about the theme of the coaster and what I'm thinking. But for the front entrance, I just got my inspiration from some Victorian train station. I'm not sure which one it is, And at the actual coaster station, which is quite a way away from the facade of the station, I was inspired by Amsterdam Central Station. I am from Amsterdam, and Amsterdam Central Station has huge ironwork tunnels almost. They are above ground, but in there are all the platforms for all the trains, and it, you know, if you're in there, it already feels very Victorian steampunk-ish. I mean, it doesn't have all the pipes and all the steampunk bits and bobs, but I mean, it already feels very much like, you know, that kind of style. So that's what I went with, which is one of the last things I built in the time lapse. So next up, my next talking point will be names, and mainly the lack of them. It's hard. I've thought, not all too long, but I really have thought about names for the park, for the ride, and I just can't really come up with anything. So if anyone is just thinking about anything, you know, if you have any idea, please put it down in the comments, because, well, it helps me a lot. I really want to have, you know, like a nice logo with some buildings on the background, and maybe like if there's an O in there, you know, like have it a spinning gear. I already have some ideas of how to stylize the logo, but I just don't have the name yet, so I can't make the logo. So yeah, that's kind of the issue I have with names. Next up, let's talk about the plans and the next few episodes, because I have some plans. Yeah, let's start with the main areas, you know, around the path. Around the path are going to be all custom buildings, of course, and just the way I've been building them in this time lapse are going to be all around the path. And on the yeah, how do you say that? Like, on one side next to a path, I'm gonna make a custom restaurant, as in there's a building you can go inside, and there's like an area inside with tables, and of course some functioning shops for people to actually go in there and enjoy it. And of course I'm gonna have to build the house of the professor for the Steampunk Rocket flat ride. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch back last episode in which I explained the storyline. And yeah, of course, so that's mostly the first, you know, the main area of the park. But of course there's a lot of coaster which you can see from the path. In those areas I am gonna build a few facades. You know, like I'm gonna have like 7 or 8, I think, facades which I can just copy paste and put everywhere. And that way you know, it doesn't have to be as detailed, because, you know, the coaster goes by so fast. I mean, it doesn't really have a point to focus on every single little detail. So I can just reuse a few facades, and then it looks great already. So that's my plan. And so for the next few episodes, I think it's gonna be 4, maybe 5. But in the, you know, the coming 3 or 4 episodes are just gonna be like this, a lot of building, namely. And then the last episode, I'm not sure yet how I'm gonna do the formatting of it, but last episode's gonna be all focused on show. So it's gonna be hooking up all the display sensors, letting, you know, displaying some steam by the coasters, and having the sound effects, and having voiceovers where they are needed in the pre-shows of certain rides, all those kind of things. So yeah, that's my plan for the next few episodes. And then of course, in the few days after the contest ended, so I'm thinking right now, at the latest the 15th of August, I will be releasing the cinematic and the POV. So if you're excited, I know I am, please consider subscribing and liking. I mean, it's free, please do. And yeah, actually, no, and that's about it I have for the commentary. So now there's about 10 minutes of time-lapse left. So I'm just gonna leave you guys to it, and after that we'll be back with the live section. Of course, you can also immediately scroll there. It's marked inside the timeline of the video. So yeah, enjoy the next bit of the time lapse. So welcome to the live section, and well, I'm just gonna give you a very quick overview of the park. So first off, next to the lake, if you want to know why there's a lake, check out the first 5 episodes in which we are in the mega park. But I had a lake in the corner of the park. I mapped it out using a blueprint, and now I made like a little well, not really a promenade, but more of a little park is, I think, the closest way to describe it. And of course, decorated it with some typical steampunk, you know, like have some chimneys with smoke, have some water coming out of like a sewer pipe almost, and a ladder for in case someone falls in. And you know, I wanted to originally do some buildings here. But I really wanted to have the sightlines from the opposite side of the lake. In the mega park, the entrance is over here. So I wanted that when you walk in, there's like a little restaurant over here. And I wanted that you could see across and you could see, you know, the tower and the train station, since those are 2 of the main things to look at in the area. And I really like the idea of, you know, like creating the anticipation of seeing it from the other side of the lake. So yeah, of course we have the tower, which is almost like a weenie kind of thing. You know, you can see it from almost everywhere. It's kind of tall. It's not going to be as tall as the tower that's going to enclose the drop tower, and probably also not as tall as the tower that's going to be over here. But it's going to be, you know, like the tallest building next to the path. So let's walk you through. Oh yeah, of course, I haven't shown this. I was inspired by, you know, like some Victorian ironwork. Well, is it a pagoda? I think it is, but could be very wrong. But these are like really Victorian style little things, and I was like, yeah, that works really well. And so I created one in the game, and I think it turned out really nice. So let's start off with the station, the main building in this area. So yeah, you could see my previous versions in the background while I was constructing the park. But I like this design way better. It's just, I don't know, it's a little more, yeah, I couldn't even describe it. I just like it better. However, the inside is still very empty. It's very minimal. It's got, you know, like the decorative arches, it's got some pillars, and it got some footers for the pillars, it got a nice window, and it got some decoration, but you know, this just doesn't work and it just looks empty. So yeah, a lot of work is still to be done in here, but not in this episode. Then we have like a little building next to it, and this has like a little staff area, which is not functional, but you know, it's got some well, you know, some little decoration in here, just for the sake of detailing it. And that's really what I want to do with this park. You know, you can go anywhere. If anything is see-through, so like these doors, you can see through them, then there is going to be decoration, or there's going to be something behind it, because else there's no use in having that part being see-through. Then of course these are just some filler houses. I didn't feel like doing shops here. I thought this was a little bit too tight of a squeeze to have shops in here, and also, you know, like all the traffic for 2 attractions and the exits of 2 attractions. So I decided to just make some facades. And of course, I didn't like that normally behind this is black, so yeah, I made this with gems as well, just like I made this window. That's about all of it for, you know, the buildings. Then I wanted to go down here. Why is this not working? Oh my god. There we go. I added a lot of tubing and wires in here for that near miss feeling. And well, it's exhilarating when you're on the coaster. I'm not gonna show POV this episode. I showed a POV of the coaster in the last episode, but it didn't have any decoration yet, so you're gonna have to wait for all of the new decoration in the final cinematic overview. And well, yeah, I mean, there's not really a whole lot else to say about this. It just looks cool. And then very last thing in this video, in here, I already said in the time lapse, it's very much inspired by Amsterdam Central Station, which has those arches over the platforms. And well, I thought, it's really it's a nice idea to have this ride and in the station, since you enter in the station, you board the vehicles in the station, and then you also you end in the station. It seems like a nice way to end everything. So I'm not sure I told you last episode about the theme of the ride. If not, I'm gonna repeat myself, or if I did, I'm gonna repeat myself. If not, then well, I'm gonna say it. The story, it's not really a story, it's very much more like a theme, but the city of unnamed, because I don't have a name yet, but there's the city has a new way of transportation, and that opens today. I mean, it opens every day, but it opens today. Like, there's gonna be banners in here, like, oh, it opens today, and you ride it, and you're gonna be the first riders to ride it. And well, I'm not gonna do a whole storyline with, oh my god, it goes wrong, and oh, everything has gone to hell, all those kind of things. No, it's just gonna be you ride it, and this is gonna be the transport system. So again, it's not gonna be as immersive of a story as it's gonna be for the drop tower. It's just gonna be the very basics, which is, I think, all it needs. So I think that is everything for this episode. As you can see, we've made a huge deal of progress. If you remember last episode, there was nothing apart from the coaster, the flat rides, and this little box. That was it. And now we have stations and facades and a park, and we have all sorts of shops, and I've got I've got labels laying around everywhere for what's gonna be there. So yeah, huge progress. Expect next episode to have similar amounts of progress, and of course the next few episodes after that as well. So if you're as excited as I am, please consider liking and subscribing. It helps me, or well, doesn't really help me since I don't make money off these videos, but I mean, it makes me feel good, which is also nice, I guess. No, really. Please consider liking and subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.